Test, test, test. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Let me know how we sounding. Let me know how we sounding. So yesterday we had a small move take place on GJ. We don't got GJ up right now because it's a bank holiday, so we're not going to trade GJ. So basically, again, we're not going to force a setup today, just like we didn't force a setup yesterday. But GJ did end up playing out yesterday, and then it did. We can pull up GJ really quick, actually. Then GJ did a small move last night. But again, it's a bank holiday for GJ. We got FOMC at 2 o'clock. We're going to see if we can find a setup between now and New York session. But after if I don't see anything by like 10 o'clock, I'm just going to call it a day, to be honest. Because we caught a nice move yesterday. We went 2-0 last week. There's no point in trying to force setups the last day of the year. You know what I'm saying? But if it can break back above maintain 210.75 support, we can't look for the same bicep that we went for yesterday and the same bicep that played out Tokyo session last night. Now, NAS ended up doing a nice push, was looking for this buy setup, but NAS ended up taking off. So we're going to be looking to see going into this next 15 if US30 can maintain 490 as support, where we can look for buys. We were looking for buys on this yesterday. Off the 930 candlestick, as you can see, let's go in a 5-minute really quick so y'all can see this better. Off the 930 candlestick, right? Because again, this is what price was doing all London session, to retrace. And then we can see here off the 930 candlestick, it did do a nice push to the upside. Almost did a full move we was looking for, but after the 930 candlestick, as you can see, 935, 940, and that's probably when price retraced back down. But then as you can see, at 2 o'clock, it did a nice move, and then we just broke back above this level. So we're going to look to see if we can retest and maintain this level as support. If so, we can look for buys going to 48,630, and then we can hold 48,630 as support. We're going to look for continued buys going back up to price up here at 48,775. So that's the game plan on US30 YM right here. So we're mainly going to pick into US30 YM, and then GU again. GJ, we could possibly see a setup here. I would have to see some volume for me to take that setup. GU did a small move as well, but it's still trying to just kind of ranging right here. But it ended up doing a nice little small move last night on Tokyo session. Did a nice move. So we're gonna look to see if we can catch that same move we was looking for yesterday, which we can see all yesterday price failed to hold that support. So again, if you're looking for buys here without waiting for a retest, you would have got wicked out so many times on GU. Again, this is why I don't breakout trade. I like to wait for the break and retest. So a GU game plan is still the same. We're either going to look for price to retest and maintain 3,500 as support, or if we can break above and maintain 3,525 as support, we're going to be looking for buys going to 3,545. Just dropped a new video for y'all yesterday. Make sure to check that out after the live is over. Make sure to like this live as well. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. New 15 just popped up. So if US30 doesn't retest this level, that's completely fine. We'll just look for buys at the next level right here. Again, you never want to force setups or feel like you got to catch every point, every pip. Just wait for price to come to you. Just wait for price to come to you. So we're going to see what's going to retest for us. As it's still kind of pushing. Let's see what's going to retest right here. What's going on, Johnny? I see you up in here. This would have been a nice setup. We're going to see if it's going to retrace a little bit for us. Just got to take out that level of traffic to the left. So if it doesn't take that out, it's going to retest. What's going on, D? How am I doing? I'm doing great. I cannot complain at all. What about y'all? How y'all feeling today? Again, this is the last trading day of the year. I'm not trading the rest of the year, obviously, because it's holidays, right? So again, trading is very simple. Just trade when there's not a holiday, trade before news, trade after news, right? So plus tomorrow and Thursday, the banks are going to be closed. So unless it's on the Forex side, but I think the Forex side will be the same way. I know definitely the futures and indices side, even if you wanted to trade, you wouldn't be able to trade. So again, just use it as a reset break, a 5-day weekend, whatever the case may be. But get ready for the next week. So again, like I said, I'm still dropping videos this week on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube to keep y'all's brains on track, because this is like an extra long weekend. So especially if you're not profitable yet, you still want to back test, you still want to practice, you still want to review your trades, because when the new week pops off, you don't want to be trying to play catch up. You want to just pick up where you left off and keep the snowball rolling down the hill. You get what I'm saying? But we caught a nice move yesterday on GJ. If y'all was on the live stream, we actually took this GJ setup live. I told you I was going to re-enter off the next candle so we could hold the support, and that's what happened. And then we ended up hitting a nice 1-2 on that, and then it did the same move last night again. So if y'all was on the charts last night, GU and GJ did some nice moves. We do got FOMC today as well. So again, I'm not really forcing anything. I'm mainly paying attention to GU and US30 today. But again, if I don't see a setup between now and 6 a.m., I'm going to do like I always do, which is just wait for 8 a.m., 9:30 open. And if I don't see a setup by like 10, 11 o'clock, I'm just going to be done for the day and done for the month, because, well, done for the year, honestly, because obviously, you know, in 2 days, it's 2026. But because it's also FOMC, right? So that's how today's going to go. US30, we did a nice push to the upside, so we're looking for a retest here or entry at the next level. And then NAS did a nice push off the London session open as well. So we're going to be looking for buys on US30 and NAS today, and we're going to be looking for buys on GU. Yeah, so after today, probably tomorrow, I'm going to do the recap of last month. And then probably so tomorrow I'm probably going to do the recap of last month. Friday, I'll probably do the recap of how we ended Q4. And then Sunday, I'll do the recap of how we did last year, right? Because if y'all just join, that's usually how I do things. You see the blue highlight, hit that first of all, hit that first link, description, join the free signal, free Telegram. But let's go back onto the charts again. We're not missing anything. I have alerts. So I'm not really concerned with prices in between my zones. I'm simply just concerned about when price is one of my levels. Again, if US30 doesn't retest, we're simply just going to look for buys at the next price. It's that simple. But as you can see, we're not missing anything. So let's just keep it on this chart right now. But make sure to hit that first link in the description. So when you see these highlights, it's either going to take it up on a week-by-week basis, month-by-month, or quarter-by-quarter basis, right? So when we go to the beginning of the month, you can see how we ended November, 23 wins, 7 losses, gives us a 90% win rate. You click right here, it's going to take you to the beginning of November. We can also see how we ended October, 30 wins, 4 losses. So when we go to October 3rd, you can see how we ended Q3, 89% win rate, like y'all see on y'all screens. July 17-2, August 23-2, September 16-3, 56 wins, 7 losses, 89% win rate. So if we just go make our way back up, you see how we did Q2, 90% win rate, Q1, 90% win rate. Then you can see how we did last year, December, 12-2. So I already did better than we did last year, Q4, and last year, December. You can see this is how we did last year, December. So we took way more trades this year than we did last year, Q4, which can be good or bad, but obviously we still have a high win rate, so it's good in this case. You can see last year, October, we went 15-1, but this year we took 34 trades, 30 wins, 4 losses. Then last year, November, we only took 15 trades, but this year, November, we took 30 trades, 27 wins, 3 losses, right? And in December, we were already taking way more than 14 trades, but we're still up. But yeah, so we're just doing what we were doing any other year. So again, next year is going to be definitely interesting though. I was talking to a couple students in one-on-one sessions about it earlier. Next year is going to be interesting though. We're still going to do what we're going to do, but next year is definitely going to be interesting. I gotta work on revamping the course. I'm probably gonna do that this weekend since I can't fucking trade fucking Wednesday through Friday. I might get a head start on the new year and revamp the course and the Playmaker University, because the course part I always revamp every year. So it's gonna be like the third time I've revamped the course part of Playmaker University. So I'm gonna be probably working on that this weekend. But again, y'all know the drill. We're just chilling, patiently waiting. If y'all got any questions, drop them in the chat. Want me to look at any charts, drop them in the chat. But this is pretty much the game plan for today, y'all. Yeah, but next week we'll be back to our regularly scheduled programs, right? So quarter 4 and quarter 1 are the slowest quarters of the year. I know it's kind of confusing, especially started trading this year, because literally every month of the year this year, people have been talking about PA has been bad. But quarter 4 and quarter 1 is the worst years to trade. That doesn't mean quarter 1 is going to be terrible. I'm just talking about volume wise. Those are two of the slowest. Obviously, this quarter slow, not because of worldly event. Well, technically worldly events, but it's holidays in this case, right? Because again, October was chill, but then we had Halloween at the end of the month, and after that, it's just money, 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 right? We got Thanksgiving, got all this other shit in November. Then December, we got damn near every holiday in the book: Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. Shit, people probably had bar mitzvahs too. Who knows? All the subs, right? And we got Christmas, New Year's. And then quarter 1, you know, taxes on the business side. So that's why the first quarter 4 and quarter 1 is kind of the slowest. Summer quarter, in my opinion, is the best quarter. We saw that this year as well. We saw that last year also, because everybody's outside, money's flowing and things like that. And then quarter 3 is not terrible, right? But trading at the end of the day is about consistency. The reason why we haven't really struggled this month, like we didn't struggle at the beginning of this year or any month of the year, is because even when we had the all-time highs come out of nowhere. Because again, remember, this is why it's called a playbook, y'all, right? This is why I always be like, receipts are everywhere, right? So who remembers in the beginning of the year, right? Let me cut this to the chat, make sure I'm missing anything, but I'm gonna talk a little bit because ain't shit going on anyways, right? We gotta wait for our retest, so ain't really shit going on. Again, we was looking at this setup, but it ain't retest for us, nothing we can do about it. At least I know my confirmations are right. So a lot of times people be like, why don't you chase trades and stuff like that? We've all been in a situation where we had a setup in mind, price took off without us, whether that's because our confirmations weren't met, we missed the entry, or a combination of both. And then what happens as soon as you enter the trade? As soon as you enter the trade, price just wants to coincidentally either destroy your stop loss or retrace right back to your ideal entry point, right? And if y'all was in yesterday's live stream, gold was a perfect example why you don't want to FOMO, and also why you went for the break and retest. But I have no issue at this point, because again, I've been trading full time going on 4 years. So it'll be 4 years next year. So I've already got it out my system and built the muscle of, okay, just gotta wait, right? So even if a setup plays out that I missed, it gives me even more confidence to take my next setup that meets my confirmations, because at least I know my analysis was correct. So next time I see my confirmations, next time I see price retest this level, because I've seen it before, I'm gonna have even more confidence to take the setup. You see what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we still just gotta wait. It is what it is. That's what trading's about. Trading's just about waiting. Just patience and waiting, patience and waiting. Right, but who remembers at the beginning of the year when everybody was cussing out Trump, acting like the world's gonna end, everybody was complaining about tariffs and how crypto and stocks was crashing and how America was about to go to shit, blah, 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 right? Who remembers at the beginning of the year when everybody was talking about this shit, right? Because what happened at the beginning of the year, right? Last year at this time, like November, end of October, November this time last year, we had the quote-unquote crypto bull run. Y'all remember that? We had the quote-unquote crypto bull run. And then what happened after the quote-unquote crypto bull run at the end of December going into January, right? January, February, we had what take place? We had that little crash take place, right? So we're going to a naked chart on NAS100. All right, who remembers in February where we had this crash right here? Let me make sure I'm not muted too, because it'll be hilarious when I'm talking to myself. All right, cool, we're not muted. Right, remember in February, we had that crash, right? And everybody on the internet was like, oh my God, NAS just tanked for 2 weeks straight. Like, that's not how downtrends work, right? And remember in Q2, which was April, remember when the stocks, quote unquote, and the crypto, quote unquote, crashed, which was a retracement? What did we tell y'all? I'm saying we, but what did I tell y'all in April, right? April, the beginning of Q2, right? And if y'all been in the TikTok lives, y'all probably seen me pull this up before. By the way, make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Y'all see it scrolling at the bottom of y'all screens. Instagram, playmaker_weight, TikTok _playmakerweight_. But this is why I preach price action and learning how to read the charts over everything else. Because if you try to determine your decision or investments based on Twitter posts and worldly events, you're always going to be late to the party. You're always going to be late to the party. I tell you all the time, I don't watch any news events. I make all my decisions based off market structure. And yet we're still able to predict what price is going to do on a day by day and week by week, month by month basis, right? So again, y'all can see this on YouTube as well. At the beginning of April, I told y'all to buy stocks and crypto. I told y'all what stocks and crypto to buy. Obviously, it's not financial advice, but I was telling y'all what I was buying, what prices I was paying attention to. And you can go to the YouTube right now. Go to the YouTube channel right now. Go to stock analysis playlist and then go to the one in April titled what you see right here. 5 stocks to buy non-stop for the next 45 days. Matter of fact, just to make y'all's lives easier, I'm gonna find the video for y'all. Those just joined the live, we have not entered anything yet. We're waiting for our confirmations and a retest. Well, this is what we're looking at right now. We're looking at GU buys, US30 buys, but again, GU is in the middle of our zone, so we can't take a setup. And we're looking for a retest off US30. So let me find this video really quick. And again, if y'all got any questions, drop them in the chat. When we look at each chart, drop in the chat. Appreciate y'all those. I appreciate those that like the live. Make sure to like the live and subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. We just hit 4,400 subscribers. Let's get to 4,500. We will be going live later on today on TikTok as well, so make sure we're on the lookout for that. Where is the goddamn? Here it is. Yeah, the stock analysis and plays playlist. And it's titled 5 stocks to buy non-stop for the next 45 days. I'm pretty sure it's this one right here. Let me see. Yep, the April 7th one. So I'm gonna drop this right here. Give me 1 second. You know, because I'm such a kind individual. That way y'all don't get to sift through all the videos. I know you have videos out the ass. Alright, so you watched that video. I literally told y'all prices the DCA at. I also told y'all that wasn't a crash. It was simply a retracement. And this isn't even options trading. This is simply if you would have just bought the stock or bought you a share. Literally in a month, these things went up 45%, 36%, down 5%, up 4%, and then up 6%, right? Did the same exact thing with crypto, right? And then, again, remember, the beginning of this year, everybody was complaining about terrorists. Everybody was acting like everything was crashing. But how did the year end? We started the year with a downtrend. Nobody wanted to buy. Everybody was acting like the sky was falling. And then what happened literally in April when everybody was selling, right? Because again, everybody was talking about the stock exchange and the crypto markets were crashing in April, right? And what also was happening in April, the Bitcoin halving was happening in April, right? So after all this shit took place, what happened? It's done nothing but fly the rest of the fucking year, right? Obviously, some retracement or reversal took place, but on a long-term basis, it did nothing but fly the rest of the year, right? And what else happened this year? We had all-time highs get made on NAS, all-time highs get made on the S&P 500, all-time highs made on the US30, all-time highs made on gold, and we had all-time highs made on multiple cryptos, right? And what I've been telling y'all all year to get y'all some crypto and gold. Gold literally doubled this year alone, right? So again, this is why it's important to, one, don't try to invest in stocks or crypto for 1 month, right? The meme coin era fucked a lot of people up, right? Stocks and crypto is supposed to be held, if not a minimum quarter by quarter basis, but if you're investing in stocks or crypto, you should be holding that shit for like a year plus, if we're being real, right? So what would have happened if at the beginning of this year, you would have bought you some, I forgot I went to the monthly time frame, if you would have bought you some crypto and some stocks at the beginning of the year, you'd be up hella on majority of this shit, especially when it comes to the stock market, right? So again, this is why it's important to DCA, have a game plan, know why you're investing, what you're investing in, but most importantly, look at the fucking charts, because a lot of people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They see one retracement and they think that's a tank or a crash. But you also got to realize a lot of times people make videos for clicks and views, not to actually help people. It's the fear monger for clicks and views. That's why you can scroll on TikTok or Instagram, and out of 10 scrolls, you see the same caption, the same post, and people saying the same thing word by word like 5 different times. It's because, unfortunately, that's just the world we live in. Right? A lot of people don't want you to make money. All right, so use that as a rule of thumb for next year. Now, next year, we're either going to see a big retracement like we did this year, the beginning of this year, or we're going to see price continue to make all-time highs and new highs for at least 6 months, if not the next year. And we might be seeing a retracement the year after that. But that's how I'm kind of seeing how next year is going to play out. But either way, it doesn't matter because we're day traders. So if price is going down, we enter sells. If price is going up, we enter buys. That's the beauty of day trading. That's the beauty of day trading. I'm not in this setup again. Didn't retest. This was the trade ideas I was looking at off the London session open. But yeah, so that's what's going on right now. Let me turn this down. I feel like this is loud right here. Again, y'all, we got FOMC at 2. If we don't see anything between now and 6 a.m., I'm going to come back on the charts at 8 a.m. and 9:30 to see what the markers are looking like. And if I don't see a setup by like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, I'm just going to call it a day and call it a year. We will be live later on TikTok, though. But we do got FOMC at 2, so... We're going to see if we can break this resistance level, make a new higher high today. That's what we're going to be looking for today. Again, we got this chop to break through. New 5-minute just popped up. We got a new 15 about to pop up in about 4.5 minutes. If y'all got any questions, drop them in the chat. We'll be looking at your charts, drop them in the chat. But you already know the drill. We're just chilling, patiently waiting.
Monday.com, the opposite of any work platform we try.
I'm actually going to find one. I might use this week as well. I need to set a reminder because I know I'm not going to remember this shit once I end this stream. But I am going to look for some more videos, for some background music. Still some chill shit though, because again, like, that's the value when I have with trading. Again, trading is not super fast paced. Trading isn't really stressful. I mean, it can be stressful to a certain degree, but this is the vibes you want to have when you're trading, right? You just want to be chilling and relaxed. Because that's literally all it is to it. It's like fishing or surfing, right? You pull that cast out, you throw the line in the water. If you got a bobber, you just keep that shit in there. Unless you're fly fishing, you don't constantly reel it back in and cast it out. You just leave it there till you get a bite, right? Same thing with surfing. You just sit your happy ass in that cold ass water until you see that perfect wave. Same thing with trading. You know what your game plan is, but just because you know what your game plan is or what you're looking for the day, doesn't mean price is going to do it when you want to see it happen or do it at all, right? So that's why we still wait for price to come to us, hit our levels, and wait for our confirmations. You see what I'm saying? Now the situation right now is we're just waiting for a retest because it's doing the move we're looking for, but we just missed the entry and or didn't get a retest. So that's the situation we're in right now. So we're going to see if some volume is going to kick and go into 4 o'clock because we usually see some volume kicking at 4 o'clock. So we're going to see what happens from there. I blew 2 challenges this month being impatient. Hey, so you know what you did wrong, right? So that's another thing, right? So we're habit based and routine based people, and trading is about consistency. So when people talk, that's why I say like a lot of these motherfuckers online just be saying shit, right? Like when people say trading psychology, they're not talking about what you think they're talking, right? They try to make it seem like some mystic shit, like you gotta go train with Yoda or Master Oogway or some shit. All they're trying to say, but don't know how to say, is discipline, right? So it's not no trading psychology, it's fucking discipline, right? That's literally what they mean when they say trading psychology. But again, it's the same reason why they gotta have 4 monitor screens or a big ass monitor to see 2 weeks of history and all this other dumb shit. It's just flash and gimmicks. But when people talk about trading psychology, they're talking about discipline, right? You need to have discipline. And it's about consistency. So you're either going to consistently make the same mistakes or you're going to consistently improve. And then once you improve, you're going to consistently do the same thing every single day, right? So you know what you did wrong. You was impatient. So not only does that mean you just need to be patient, but that also means you need to have some rules in place to help you be patient, right? What helps me be patient is I go with the flow of price. So now I'm at the point where I don't care what happens in between my levels. I'm at the point where I only trade at my levels, right? And then I used to be super impatient about waiting for price to hit and hold my levels. So now that's why I have alerts, right? So now I don't got to stare at the charts all day watching paint dry. I just get a text on my phone or an alert on my computer, and I immediately go look at the chart and then wait from there. You see what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, the reason why when you break your trading rules and your trading plan, you lose or blow accounts is because your trading plan and your trading rules should be strategically made to help you achieve your goal, which is to make money, right? So if you trust your strategy, you trust your trading plan, and you know it will work mathematically on a week by week, month by month, quarter by quarter basis, all you have to do is just stick to it, right? That's why I call my shit the playbook, because if you stick to the playbook, you're gonna make plays. You make plays, you win, right? So that's why I stick to what I stick to, because I know it works. But also I know if I stick to my game plan, not only do I understand how to read the charts, I know my strategy works, but I know if I stick to my trading plan and my trading rules, at the end of the week, end of the month, end of the quarter, I'm gonna be in profit. So even if I take a L, again, I know all it takes is one win to cancel out 2 to 3 losses. So I'm not worried about taking an L. I also am not worried about taking an L because I understand and accept how much I'm risking per trade. You see what I'm saying? And that's another thing you have to work on. That's why I like when people be talking about like, don't trade funded accounts. Funded accounts are designed to make you lose. I tell people all the time, funded accounts aren't designed to make you lose. They just only require you to have a trading plan and have some discipline, right? Like literally, if a funded account, if you pass a funded account challenge, that means you know how to trade and you didn't break your rules and you didn't break their requirements, right? So literally they give you the rules straight up, right? Unless you're like trading some top step account and some shit like that. As long as you don't break their rules, they're not doing you dirty, right? They're not sabotaging your trades. As long as you do not break their rules and you stick to your trading plan, you will pass your evaluations, you will get a funded account, and you will get a payout. The only way you don't get a payout and you blow an account is if you consistently lose trades, or you break your rules, or you don't have a trading plan or consistent trading strategy. You see what I mean? Yeah, these are pushing nicely. So these would have been some nice sets to take, but hey, it is what it is. At least my analysis was correct. All right, I was just talking to one of my members yesterday. Not yesterday. What day was it? Damn, today's Tuesday already. So it might have been last week. I think it was last week. I don't remember. Y'all know I'm terrible with time. Just be happy I wake up on time, right? But I think it was last week. I was talking to one of my students last week during one-on-one session, and I was telling them like prop firms weren't like how they are now, right? So if y'all was trading or in the trading space like past 3 years ago, things were a lot different, trading wise, creator wise. The whole trading space was different. How trading worked was different, right? So back in the day, before prop firms became popular and before trading became mainstream, prop firms used to actually copy your trades. Prop firms used to actually copy your trades. Prop firms actually used to give you capital to trade, and they was actually making money off of your trades. That's why certain prop firms still do that, right? Like if you're like some of the top traders, they'll copy your trades, whether they let you know they're copying them or not, right? But back in the day, prop firms literally used to give you those funds to trade, and it literally used to be a profit split, right? So whether it was a 60-40 or 70-30, 80-20, 90-10, that's how shit used to work. So that's why the rules are the rules. Because again, if you look at the prop firm rules, what are the prop firm rules? Don't go past 5% a day in drawdown. That's nothing crazy. Don't go past 9 or 10% in drawdown total on the account. Okay. Make 8% phase 1, 5% phase 2. That's nothing crazy. They're not asking you to do crazy things. It seems crazy or impossible because, again, you just don't have a trading plan or enough reps to trade a funded account. Or you get fucked up by the big numbers moving quick on your screen, right? But again, there's nothing crazy about asking you to make sure you don't go past negative 5% on a day-by-day basis. That's good risk management. There's nothing crazy about asking you to make 8% phase 1, 5% phase 2 before they start giving you free money. Because again, once you pass that prop firm challenge, after that first payout, not only will that first payout cancel out what you paid for that challenge, but then literally every week, every 2 weeks, you get your next payouts is literally free money, right? So when people online be talking about, oh, don't trade prop firms, this, that, and the third, they're literally telling you that they can't trade, right? And I don't take this person because, again, I blew a lot of funded accounts. I tell people all the time, like when I was first learning this shit, like 2021, I was working 2 jobs, 6 days out the week, and literally every paycheck, I was blowing like 4 funded challenges a week. My next paycheck next week would come, and I'd blow my live account like 2 or 3 times a week. Like I blew over like 30K in a year just doing dumb shit, right? So I'm not sitting here acting like I just popped out the womb profitable. But once I sat down, I really just took money out the picture and just focused on what I need to do to accomplish what I'm trying to do. That's when things started to make a lot of sense, right? But again, they're not asking you to do anything crazy. You just have to have a trading plan, stick to your trading plan, and just have some discipline, right? So again, that's why I said this week, do not just be like, oh, it's a 5-day weekend and just dick around and party all week. Oh, New Year's, I need to find me a New Year's kiss, or is that Christmas? What do y'all do New Year? Ain't there like a New Year's kiss on, or is that just Christmas with the fucking with the little cherries? What are they called? What are those shits they be putting and they want you to kiss them? They're not cherries. What are they? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Those red things. I don't know what they're called. I don't know what they're fucking called. So they're gonna be cherries until somebody corrects me, right? But I'm not saying don't have a life, but you need to lock in so next week you can start the year off right. You see what I'm saying? Because again, trading is about habits and discipline and self-control, right? So when people talk about trading psychology, they're talking about having some self-control and habits and discipline, right? When people talk about risk management, they're talking about understanding how to count contracts, lot sizes, understanding risk to reward, and understanding how to not over leverage. You see what I'm saying? That's what people mean when they say these little buzzwords, right? That's literally all it comes down to. That's literally all trading comes down to. Trading literally comes down to, and I talk about it in this video. Wait, no, not this video. Let me drop. If y'all don't know, I might make that a separate playlist. But if y'all hit that link, not the link in the description, but if y'all click the what you call it, the beacons link, right? If y'all click the beacons link, right, either if you go to the first link description, join a free signal, free Telegram, click any of the links that say beacons, you click the beacons link, right? And then if you go, once it loads, you go to what's called the free crash course. Once this thing's low, my Wi-Fi is trash, y'all. Just gotta deal with me. They ain't trying to let me. Okay, come on now. There we go. Y'all know my Wi-Fi is trash. Don't joke on me, y'all. All right. So if you don't go to the free student room, but you go to the, where is it at? I thought I had it down here. Yeah, the first link, the free trading crash course. You click that right there. You go to the free trading crash course. Once you go to the free trading crash course, now I gotta pull up on my screen. I got so many fucking channels. By the way, I got something in store for y'all next year as well. I'm not announcing it till next year. So y'all ain't gonna know what I'm talking about till y'all know what I'm talking about. But I got something in store for y'all next year, right? But once you click that, I actually organized it, right? So I'm gonna get back to it next week and possibly this week too, because I got time on my hands. But I dropped the first watch the pin video. I did not pin it. Well, there's no point in pinning it right there, I think. Right, so we have the Zoom recording, then we have the intro in there. I might do another one next year, but I'll be just doing lives all the time, so that's why I don't really be doing it here too much. But if you watch these three videos will help y'all out, right? This one goes over all the tools I use on TradingView and the basis of day trading. This one goes over how to become a profitable trader in 90 days. And then this one goes over 7 trading psychology and discipline rules. But also, if you just go to the day trading tips playlist on YouTube, I have a bunch of videos going over market structure, trading psychology, and my trading plans, right? But also, if y'all use discount code playbook, right? So you also have other options, right? So I'm gonna start pushing this as well, because y'all know I don't really be promoting shit. But if y'all use discount code playbook for 40% off Playmaker University, and then you join Playmaker University, not only will you get the infamous price action and technical analysis playbook for free when you join Playmaker University, not only will you get that book for free, but you'll also get this book right here that I wrote. I don't be promoting it, but I got like 5 books on that website. That's why I say if you explore the website, you can get books for 2 or 3 in bundles for cheaper. But in this book that I give everybody in Playmaker University and the members that are in Playmaker University, click the pin messages. All right. This book literally goes over trading psychology, like literally everything it says right here. I go over how to leverage risk, master discipline, how to never blow account again, learn how to trust yourself while staying cool, calm, and collected. This book, not only do I go over all of these things, but I give you my exact trading plan that I use till this day. Right. But yeah. So NAS and US30 are pushing. That's cool and dandy. GJ is kind of chilling here. Again, it's a JPY holiday. Only reason why I switched to it is because it did hit my alert. So I was trying to see what's going to do. We will keep an eye on it just to see what it does going into this 4 o'clock candlestick. And I got to restart my music. So let me restart that bad boy. There we go. The GU is kind of chilling as well. I'd rather take a GU set over a GJ just because it's not a bank holiday today. But we do have FOMC today as well. So again, if we don't see any action between now and 6 a.m., I'm personally going to wait for 8 a.m., 9:30. And if I don't see it set up by like 11 o'clock, I'm done for today. We will be live later on the TikTok though, so make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Y'all see that scrolling at the bottom of y'all screens. Instagram Playmaker_Way, TikTok _Playmaker_Way_. Post daily on both pages. It was funny. One of the followers commented under one of my TikTok posts yesterday, and she was like, "Man, one thing you gotta always talk about is that win rate." I said, "Yep. Every video you're gonna hear me talk about my win rate, and y'all gonna get some game. Every one of my posts you're gonna hear me talk about my win rate and my game, and you're gonna get some game." I said, "You damn right." That shit had me crying yesterday. But yeah, some shit's good. There's also some drama in the TikTok streets, but I'm gonna mind my business this time because I used to poke my nose in the TikTok trading industry, and that's why I'm on my 5th TikTok account, because they don't like when you expose them. They report your shit. So I'm just gonna laugh, let the people do what the people do. But if you know, you know. A lot of people, their new year starting off rough, but you know, shout out to them. But again, if y'all got any questions, drop in the chat. Hopefully that helped y'all out, right? But again, that's all trading is. Trading just comes down to 3 parts: the charts, trading strategy, trading plan, discipline, and the third part, simple math. That's all trading comes down to. That's all trading comes down to. All right, so we got a new hour that just popped up. Just dropped a new video for y'all yesterday as well. Make sure to check that out after the live is over. Go ahead and drop that in the chat for y'all. Make sure to like, make sure to comment, all that good stuff. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna do the recap of the month tomorrow, and then Friday I'm gonna do the recap of the quarter, if I remember, and then Sunday I'm gonna do the recap of how we did last year. All right, so we're gonna see if we're gonna outdo how we did last year, because if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure I went over how we ended last year. Let's find out really quick. Blink, sure, let me see. I'm on it. Mistletoe, that's what's called, a mistletoe. Y'all chill on me, y'all. Like I said, I be in my own world. I was close. Cherry, mistletoe, tomato. That's pretty close, right, y'all? Y'all chill on me though. Y'all chill on me. Y'all probably, man, this motherfucker way. Just stick to trading, bro. You don't know shit but trading. Just stick to trading. We watch your live streams because of trading, bro. Don't try to talk about nothing else. I'm trying to see if we did a recap of last year. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. Let's see if we did a recap of last year. Okay, we did. So this is how we did last year. Last year we had an 89% win rate all 12 months combined. We went 181 wins, 23 losses, catching 326,550 pips. I'm pretty sure we're gonna outdo this. I'm not sure about the win rate percentage, but I'm pretty sure we caught way more pips and we had way bigger RRs this year than we did last year. But you can see last year we started off January 20-0, right? February 17-1, March 16-3. This was last year. This isn't this year. This is how we ended 2024 last year. So we went 20-0 January, February 17-1, March 16-3, April 16-4, May 15-4, June 13-3, July 16-5, August 13-1, September 14-2, October 15-1, November 14-1, December 12-2. So that's how we ended 2024. So we're interested to see how we ended 2025. But like I said, I know pip wise and wins, I know we took way more trades this year than we did last year. I'm not sure the entirety of this year compared to last year, but I know quarter four we took way more trades quarter four this year than we did last year quarter four. But this is how we did last year, so that's not bad. So we're gonna see how we did this year. So again, I'm probably gonna post this on Sunday. Instead of the recap of the week, I'm just going to post the recap of the year. So I'm probably going to tomorrow do the recap of the month, Friday, recap of the quarter, and then Sunday do the recap of the year. So I'm going to have to just scroll and tally this shit up. But this is why I do the pin stuff. That way I don't got to scroll and sift through a bunch of shit. But yeah, let's see what we got going. So the GJ is tempting me. I said I wasn't going to take a GJ setup, but GJ might try to do something. I ain't gonna lie. It's just, we just need volume at this point. Like the setup's clean, but if there's no volume, we're just gonna be chopping like we did yesterday. That's the only thing. But this setup is kind of valid. I ain't gonna lie. We'll see how this plays out. Again, this is the setup we took yesterday during the live stream. If we can maintain 210.75 as support, we could look for buys going to 211.10. The setup is not terrible setup. I just rather take a US30 or GU setup, just because it's a holiday today. But I've taken trades on holidays before. But again, I'm just being extra safe today because I want to end the year off right. But if we take a loss today, we take a loss as part of the game. And as far as tomorrow, you could probably trade futures tomorrow, but I'm not trading shit tomorrow. I ain't doing shit tomorrow. I'm gonna post videos tomorrow, but I ain't streaming or nothing tomorrow. I ain't streaming again until Monday. Actually, that's a lie. I'm streaming later on today on TikTok, but after today's TikTok live stream, it's gonna be the last TikTok live stream of the year, y'all. You ain't gonna want to miss it. But yeah. So again, a quick recap, US30 and NAS doing what we was looking for. We just missed the entry, is what it is. GJ's kind of tempted me to go for around 2 on GJ. It did around 2 last night during Tokyo session. Could be around 3 here. But yeah, and the NAS is probably pushing nasty too. Let's take a look at NAS really quick. Yeah, this would have been nice setup too. This was the 245. Did not retest here. We could have entered off that 3M candlestick though, but it's all good. It is all good. Yeah, it's very interesting though how SPX and NAS did not follow US30 suit though to make new all-time highs. So it's definitely gonna be interesting to see what they do next year because they're out of sync completely. Well, NAS and SPX are looking similar, but US30 said I'm gonna do my own thing, which is very interesting. Yeah, GJ's just trying to tease us right now. I might try to do something, but I'm just gonna chill for right now. Let's see what else we got going on here. It helped. I was mad at first. Yeah, and that's just the stages, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I crashed out plenty of times. I got mad and frustrated plenty of times. But I used to follow people on Instagram and TikTok, whether they were showing real payouts or not. I used to be like, bruh, ain't no way this guy is profitable. Like, if this motherfucker is getting payouts, there's no way I can't figure this shit out, right? And again, that's when it becomes the mindset is important, right? Like I say it all the time. There's two types of people in this world: winners, losers, victims, victors, right? Problem solvers, excuse makers, right? So a lot of time on the internet, what do you hear? Every time something goes wrong in their trades, either manipulation, or I got manipulated, or the mythical bears and bulls magically came into play, or there's people sitting at a round table stop loss hunting you, instead of, okay, what did I do wrong? You see what I'm saying? That's where I was going for, right? Because when I was hearing all this shit, I was just looking at people. I was like, there's no way we're going with this. You see what I'm saying? But another reason why a lot of people are confused in the trading space is because they come as individual day traders acting like they work for hedge funds or the government, right? So the whole bear and bull concept has nothing to do with us as individual traders. That is the banks, the governments, and the hedge funds. Because again, everybody be these Google statistic demons. All you got to do is go on Google and look up how many people, how many average people day trade, let alone how many average people invest, and then look up how much money per day, per month, per year is pushed into the forex market, the stock market, the crypto market. And then when you start to do the math, you're going to realize we're not moving the markets, right? So when people talk about buyers and sellers moving the markets, this is not Wolf of Wall Street. This is not the pursuit of happiness, right? This ain't the show billions. We're not moving the markets, right? That's why they're called sharks and whales. We are not sharks and whales, right? When you go watch Shark Tank, are the people going to the quote unquote sharks, are they calling themselves baby sharks? No, right? We're not sharks. We're not the whales in the market. That's why we have to ride the wave and follow the flow of price. You see what I'm saying? But so when I was, blowing accounts and losing trades, I was like, okay, what am I doing wrong? It has to be a me thing because other people are making money. People making money the same day and losing money. I remember one day, I told them students all the time. I remember one day, it was gold. I remember I took a buy on gold, took a loss. I go on Instagram, I go look at this trader's story. They took a buy on gold and took a win. So that day was like the nail in the coffin for me. I was like, okay. It used to be I took a loss, people making money, the days I took a loss, but I'm like, no, this guy took the exact same setup I took. It wasn't the exact same setup, but the point was I took a gold buy, I lost. He took a gold buy, he won. So after I saw that shit, that's when I knew, okay, I'm getting closer, but there's something I'm missing. And it's the charts, right? That's why I preach the charts so much. Because again, when you think about it, everybody, obviously people look at the charts, but they don't go based off market structure, right? What do people do? They go based off patterns or the specific candlestick. And that's why there's so much confusion in the markets, right? They go off the specific candlestick or a pattern, and they go off Twitter post, and they wonder why they don't understand what's happening, right? I went the other way. I paid attention to the charts, learn how the charts move, and then I put everything else together after the charts, right? Because again, like I tell the members and students all the time, We make money based off the charts. We lose money based off the charts. All the confusion and stress is based off the charts. When you're in drawdown, you go to look at the charts and you get even more overwhelmed because now you're in negatives. You're close to blowing your account or taking a loss, and then you go into the charts and there's no comfort of looking at the charts because you don't know what the fuck's going on. You see what I'm saying? The reason why I'm able to be in a trade, wait for my setups, be in drawdown, be in profit, but still stay cool, calm, and collected is because, again, I know what the fuck I'm doing. I understand what the fuck the charts are doing. And most importantly, I am okay with what I'm risking, right? You have to be okay and willing to risk what you're risking and lose what you're losing, right? Don't just think about, oh, I put this contract in lot size, I can make X amount of dollars. You have to focus on your losses, right? Focus on how much you can lose, not how much you can win. Now, you want to focus on both, but I'm saying focus on that because most people focus on how much they can make per trade, but not how much they can lose per trade. If you minimize your losses, figure out a way to capitalize by maintaining your losses or what you want your losses to be, that is when you're going to see a change in your trading, especially for people trying to like trade prop firms and shit like that. Because again, prop firms, you need to have a strict trading plan and you got to understand risk management. If you don't understand those two things, you're going to continuously struggle when it comes to prop firms. You're going to struggle with live accounts as well, but prop firms, if you don't have none of that shit down, that's why it's a struggle for a lot of people. It was a struggle for me at one point to get funded and shit like that. But like I think I showed you on TikTok, right? I don't think I showed you on here, right? But again, that's how I was able to pass another account last week, right before the damn holidays. All right, let me go to that folder really quick. All right, so I literally passed another challenge last week. I think it was like literally the day before we ended trading for the week, right? So again, it doesn't matter if it's December, doesn't matter if it's January, doesn't matter if it's August, doesn't matter if it's high volume, low volume, doesn't matter if there's news or no news, doesn't matter if it's holidays. Just stick to your game plan, and you're going to win at the end of the week, end of the month. It doesn't matter. Just stick to your game plan. You're gonna win at the end of the week, end of the month. So yeah, I'm gonna leave GJ alone. I'm gonna put back GU. So again, y'all, we're gonna be on the charts for the next couple of hours. We don't see any action between now and 6 a.m. Simply just gonna wait for 8 a.m. 9:30 New York open, and then look for a setup. We do have FOMC at 2 o'clock today, so make sure to keep that in mind. So if I don't see a setup by like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, I'm just gonna call it a day, call it a week. We'll be live later on today on TikTok, so make sure to be on the lookout for that live stream. Make sure to join the first in the description, join the free signal free Telegram. That way you're notified every time we go live on YouTube or TikTok. So I will notify y'all when we go live and whatever. Make sure y'all know these on the TikTok and Instagram as well. Because again, the algorithm is different, right? It's switched to, it's trying to push you out to more people that don't follow you, and they don't really push you out to your followers. I'm gonna start doing better next year, letting y'all know when I post shit. But have y'all know these on to help me out as well. But yeah, y'all, that's pretty much what's going on today. Y'all can probably tell I got a good amount of sleep yesterday too, because I'm talking way more than I usually do. I didn't even take no coffee today, man. Let's see what we got going on. My biggest challenge is staying with the strategy. Walking away is the best solution. Yeah, that's another thing, right? So I've been seeing a lot of shit on TikTok where people be like, and that's why I said, like, I made a post the other day. I was like, I swear these people were in a group chat brainstorming how to sabotage the trading space. Because why did I see like 10 different creators say the same shit? I've seen 10 different creators, and these same creators all said the same shit. They all said these things. They said, don't backtest. Backtesting is a waste of time. Don't paper trade. And then they're also saying, I don't use a strategy. How the fuck are you telling your community that you don't use a strategy, but yet they're there to learn how you trade? That makes zero fucking, like, this is what I don't get, right? You have to have a strategy with everything, right? You have a strategy with everything. Even if you think you don't have a strategy, let's just pull this out, right? And yeah, this is why I be chilling, because I used to do this shit all the time on TikTok, but that's why I'm on my 5th TikTok account, because people don't like the truth. People don't like common sense, right? So let's pull this out really quick. Let's pull this up really quick. Right. So the definition of strategy is a plan of action or policy designed to achieve a major or overall aim. So how the fuck are y'all pulling out your camera, pointing it at your face, hitting record, and then saying, I don't have a strategy? Stop asking me what my strategy is. I don't have a strategy. And then you wonder why everybody all year's been saying PA is bad, because they're just doing shit, right? So it's also could be a double-edged sword, right? Because again, a lot of people, I don't know about you, but a lot of people are in the study or college mode, so they're over-studying, over-analyzing shit. There is a thing of knowing too much, right? Analysis paralysis. You know too much, you don't want to make a move, right? I think there was like a movie or a Marvel DC character. It was either an anime or some shit, something like that, where like this dude, he just knew too much, so he didn't even want to do shit no more, because like it was analysis paralysis. It's the same thing with trading, right? That's why you also have to practice, right? So the reason why I consistently do the same thing every single day is because I've been doing this shit since 2022, so I know how it plays out, how it works on a week by week, month by month, quarter by quarter basis, as well as a year by year basis. So I know if I stick to this strategy, if I consistently do this right here, I'm going to win more than I lose, right? So yes, I do flex my win rate and shit like that, but win rate is not everything. You see what I'm saying? Win rate is not everything. That's how there's people online with 30% win rates but still profitable somehow. So what you have to understand is that losses are a part of the game. Okay, this is why I don't really like the whole thing where people say like treat trading like a video game, because that lets me know that a lot of people that say that shit aren't real gamers, right? Because I'm retired a little bit. I'm not retired, but I take breaks. I don't do it as much as I used to. Like every maybe once a quarter I'll binge play some games or some shit, but I don't game as much as I used to. But back in the day, I used to be a heavy gamer. Competitive shit only, ranked shit only, no casual shit. I was a competitive gamer, also competitive sports. I was competitive all my life, still competitive to this day. So when people telling me treat trading like a video game, in my head, when I play a video game, I want to win, right? And not only do I want to win, I want to go on win streaks. So that fucks you as a trader, because after you win a trade, again, if you're an actual gamer, you don't want to just hop off after one. Who the fuck plays one game, takes a win? It's like, that was a good game. All right, let me turn the computer off. Let me turn the PC off. Let me turn the console off. That's not how it works, right? You're an actual gamer. You take a win, you want to take another win, right? That's how people fuck up their profits, by over trading, right? Then there's the other side. I don't like to lose. So if I lose in a video game, I'm not about to turn off my computer. I'm going to play until not only I win, but get on a win streak, right? Like I'm not going, if I take a loss, I don't just want to win one time. I want to win at least 2 or 3 times in a row. With trading, you can't do that. You take a loss, maybe take one more trade, but you don't want to continuously keep on playing until you win, right? And you also don't want to win and then keep on playing some more, right? So trading, again, you just have to have a game plan, and this is why you have to practice. This is why I'm so adamant about what I talk about, because everything I tell y'all to do, I did. Everything I tell y'all not to do, I used to do, and I don't do it no more. Or because I know what the fuck I'm doing, I can tell when shit don't make sense, right? It's just like anything, any field you're in. If you're a athlete, a producer, you walk into a space, you can tell somebody actually knows what the fuck they're talking about, right? It's the same thing with the trading space. A lot of these motherfuckers don't know what they're talking about, right? So with trading, it's about consistency. Consistently doing the same thing every single day. So it goes back to what we was talking about earlier in the live stream. You're either going to consistently make the same mistakes and be stuck on level 2 for 2 years straight, or you're going to consistently do the right things and consistently win and consistently grow. You see what I mean? So that's what trading's about, but you're not going to really be able to understand what works and what doesn't work until you get those reps in. I tell people all the time, before I started trading this strategy on live accounts and funded accounts, I practiced this strategy on a demo account for 3 months. Not 3 weeks, not 3 days, 3 months. So again, imagine winning back-to-back-to-back trades. This was back in the day, right? So this was back in the MetaTrader days. If you're still overseas, you probably still use MT5, MT4. So it wasn't red and green, it was red and blue. So imagine seeing day after day, week after week, blue, 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 but still not switching to a live account because you want to make sure this shit works not just for a day, not for a week, but actually works long term. Once you see how trades play out long term, then you'll be able to understand what's working, what's not working, but also how your strategy works. That's why strategy hopping fucks you up, because you can't go for a reversal trade Monday, go for a continuation trade Tuesday, then try to trade a FVG to elemental P on Wednesday, and then breakout trade Thursday, and then Friday, I don't fucking know, use some fucking indicator or some shit, and then think you can go review your P&L and your trades for the week to narrow down what works and what doesn't work. You have to do the same thing over and over again for at least a month. Then look at all your trades. Still review your trades every day, every week, but then review your trades for the month. See how many trades you won versus how many trades you lost. Look at the RRs, look at how you entered the trades, all this other stuff. Then you have some actual data to go off of. You see what I mean? But strategy is just one part of the game, right? Again, what's the first part of trading you need to understand? You need to understand how to read the charts, right? You watch my video. Where's my phone at? All these damn pockets. Where the fuck my phone at? Here it is. All right, so when you watch this video, I'm about to drop it in the chat. I just gotta find it really quick because I just be dropping videos out the ass. Let me find one really quick. Not this one. I think it was this one right here. Yeah, so watch this one right here. Let's see what else we got. And then this one right here. Yeah, I tell you, it's called the playbook for a reason. I'm gonna start pushing my videos out. I just don't want to be too spammy, but fuck it, because I be dropping game, and a lot of people be missing out on the game because I don't be pushing this shit out or telling y'all I be posting shit. So make sure to have y'all's noties on, y'all's bells on. But I'm also gonna do my part and let y'all motherfuckers know when I actually post some shit, so y'all can actually watch my videos. You know, some actual content creator shit, I guess. But let me try to find this other video really quick. Give me 1 second. Where the fuck? I just post so many videos. Where the fuck is it? I think it's this one right here. We're gonna be on for a little bit longer, y'all. So if you got any questions, drop in the chat. Let's see what we got here. Right, so watch that video right there, and then watch this video right here. Cool. Alright, cool. Right, but if you watch this video, what is the very first thing I tell y'all to focus on the first 30 days of the 90 days, the first month of the 3 months? The first thing you want to do is pay attention and focus on the charts. The charts are going to tell you everything you need to know, right? The reason why a lot of trading strategies don't work is because your strategy, again, I wish I kept the Google tab up. Did I keep the Google tab up? No, I didn't. It's gone. Rest in peace, right? But strategy is a plan of action. So how are you going to have a plan of action on how to attack the charts if you don't understand how the charts work? You see what I'm saying? That's why when people know every candlestick name, every pattern, like they're collecting Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Like, you know, the rising trapezoid, the angry triangle, all this other dumb shit, right? That's why they're like, man, I know every single pattern, but why did my strategy not work? Because you don't understand how to read the charts, right? I say it all the time. I could be a beast at Mario Kart, but does that mean I know how to drive an actual car? No. I can watch every Fast and Furious movie. I can know it by heart. Does that mean I know how to drive a stick shift? No, it does not. Right? It's the same thing with trading. Just because you know every candlestick name and pattern does not mean you know how to trade. Does not mean you know how to read the charts, right? So that's why if you know a strategy, that's just one part of the puzzle, because you still need to understand how the road works, right? It's just like you can't just buy a car and then go into the highway and think you're not going to crash and cause an accident, right? Before you purchase a car and get your driver's license, what do you need to do? You need to learn the rules of the road, take the written test, right? You need to know who has the right of way here, who has the right of way there, what sign means what light means what, speed limit, you know what I'm saying? Then once you understand the rules of the road, which is the charts, then you take the driver's test, right? Then you drive and hit the road. A lot of y'all are buying a car, then driving onto the highway, and then wondering why you're crashing and causing accidents. It's not because of manipulation. It's not because of the bears and bulls. It's because you don't actually understand what's happening on the charts. You see what I mean? So you need to understand market structure first, the rules of price first, and then once you understand the rules of price, then you come or apply a strategy. You can't learn a strategy but not know the rules of the road. You can't buy a car but not know the rules of the road and think you're going to be able to drive smoothly. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing with trading. That's why, like, a lot of times, especially in TikTok lives, they're like, so how do you trade or how do you do this, do that? I'm like, that's the next part. You see what I'm saying? It's just like when I do one-on-one sessions. Like, sometimes people come in, you know, thinking they know some shit, but then after we start breaking shit down, they realize, oh, I don't know shit, right? You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing. Right? Like sometimes people are like, I'll be like going to a market strategy. Sometimes people are like, oh, I know this. I already know how to do that. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, what's this mean? What's about to happen next? And that's when it's like, oh, okay, so I don't know everything yet. You see what I'm saying? But you don't know what you don't know. But that's why I pushed what I pushed, because that is what was a breakthrough for me, was learning how the charts worked and then coming up with my strategy, then coming up with my trading plan, then practicing it for, again, 3 months. And then after I practiced it for 3 months, a crazy thing happened. I was able to quit one of my jobs, make part-time income with trading. Then I was able to quit both my jobs and make full-time income with trading, right? And we've been doing this shit since 2022, right? So again, it's a process to everything. GJ is teasing us. I feel like GJ is about to try to do something right here. I'm giving out a lot of free game this live stream too, so I hope y'all liking the live. Hope y'all save this live, because I've been dropping a lot of game in this live stream. But that's why I always shout out people that be in the lives, because I know not everybody's going to be in the lives or watch the recordings. So that's why I'm not really against giving out more game than I usually would, because if you're in this live stream right now, you're at least semi-serious and not serious about learning how to trade. Let's see what else we got going on. We're going to be on for a little bit longer, y'all. So again, if y'all got any questions, drop in the chat and I got y'all. NAS is still pushing. US30 is chilling above this level right here. And then GJ and GU might try to do something for us in a little bit. We got a new 15 about to pop up in a minute and some change. That's a nice push right there. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Yeah, so again, consistency is key. You're never going to really know if something works or not just by 1 week of trading or a day of trading. You got to see how it plays out for at least a month. But that's also why you need to actually learn a strategy that works and learn from somebody who knows what they're talking about. That's how you got. Yep. Thanks for clearing that up. A lot of people need to hear that. That's why we do what we do. That's why I'm Playmaker Way. That's why I create playmakers. That's why it's called the playbook. That's what we do. We do this every single day. Analysis paralysis is real. I think I have it at times. Yep, that's what happens, right? So again, that's why I keep it simple. That's why my bio everywhere: YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, shit, maybe even Telegram. I don't fucking know, right? But that's why my bio everywhere. I need to add it to here. But that's why my bio everywhere besides Telegram, it says what? Trading made simple, right? Because everybody else makes it seem like you need a damn protractor. They treat it like it's a damn college class. They make it seem so complicated and scholarly when trading is very simple, right? So I tell people all the time, if you want to get to know the markets, know what they like to do on the weekend, what their favorite color is, what temp they like their tea or coffee or some shit, by all means do that shit. But I discovered and took trading on, not for that, I took trading on to make some fucking bread. So if you want to make some fucking bread, you don't need to know all that shit. All you need to understand is market structure, the rules of price, which direction price is going, the high probability setups, risk management, and you just need to have a trading plan. That's all it comes down to. You don't need to know all these candlestick names and patterns. You don't got to keep up with Twitter posts. I haven't watched a single news event till this day. I haven't watched a single news event till this day, but yet we still trade on news days and predict news. Yet we still win more than we lose. But I do the exact opposite of what everybody else says on the internet. That's probably why we have the exact opposite results of everybody else on the internet too. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, so again, but that's also why you gotta practice on a demo account, because at some point you just got to jump in the water. At some point you just gotta jump off the porch, right? You just gotta take that first step. You know what I'm saying? At some point you just gotta take that first step. And then from there all the other steps become easier. You just gotta do it. What Shia LaBeouf say? You just gotta do it, man. Just do it. You know, don't let your dreams be dreams, all that good shit. Right, but as day traders, you gotta have a certain amount of balls anyways, and then ladies, you gotta have you just gotta be about it, right? I don't know a comparison for ladies, but you gotta have a set of balls on you to day trade anyways, because you're literally throwing your money into the markets. You know what I'm saying? Your hard-earned money, you're literally throwing into the market. So you gotta have a set of balls or some nerves of steel to even attempt to day trade, right? So the analysis paralysis or the nervousness or the hesitance comes from your past losses and mistakes. But again, that's why you practice, you understand what you're doing, because again, the fear and lack of confidence comes from the lack of repetition, a lack of understanding, right? That's why people tell you not to trade news, not because you can't trade news days, because we obviously debunk that every single week. Same reason why they say don't trade December or trade Christmas week, where we obviously went 2-0 last week. So the reason why people tell you all the shit not to do is because of fear, right? They don't understand how it works, so they run away or steer away from it, right? Same thing with trading. You're scared to take that setup because of the fear of losing bread, right? But how are you going to get that confidence? You just got to do it, but do it safely and smartly, which is why I say demo accounts, practice. I was about to say back test, practice, because that's how the confidence is going to come into play. You see what I'm saying? Like there's a thin line between cockiness and confidence, right? You don't want to be cocky, but you want to have some confidence. But that's also why some people project people that are confident say, "Oh, you're cocky," but it's like, no, I'm not cocky. I'm just confident, right? Sometimes it might sound like I'm talking shit, but I'm not talking shit. I'm just being real. You see what I'm saying? But there's a thin line between the two. But with trading, you just have to do it. You know what I'm saying? But smartly. That's why, again, demo accounts back testing. Do not do what I do and what everybody else is telling y'all to do, which is open up a live account, day 2 of learning what day trading is, after watching 2 YouTube videos, and then think you're going to just make money. That's just not how it works. Trading is not a get rich quick scheme. Okay, you can become rich and wealthy off trading, but it's not a get rich quick scheme. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's a process. Anything else is like anything else in life. It's a skill you have to learn and practice. Can you make a lot of money trading? Yes. Can you make part-time, full-time income trading? Yes, I've done it. Can you quit your job trading? Yes, you can. But that's not going to happen day one. You see what I'm saying? Like, I had somebody message me the other day, and this was you. Don't take it personal. Nobody knows who you are but me and you. So don't take it personal. And plus, you're not the only person that messaged me this. So again, don't take it personal. Right? Like, I had somebody hit me up the other day. I was like, oh, if I do one-on-one sessions, when I pay this, will I make this back? I was like, not tomorrow. Not tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and be like, yes, you're going to make your money back the next day tomorrow. No, that's not how this shit works. You know what I'm saying? You don't go to college for 4 years, 8 years, 10 years and make your student loan debt back your first year of work. Is that how that works? Does a doctor go to school for 8 years, 12 years, and all that student loan debt is their first week of being on the workforce to make their money back. No, I even know teachers. I had a teacher senior year, and this lady was at least 50. I didn't ask her age, but she was at least 50. A teacher. I don't know what her degree she had. I didn't care that much to ask her, but I know she was an English teacher. And she was still paying her student loans off. She was a teacher. She's been a teacher for like 20 years. Right? So, what you understand with trading is you're only going to make what you can afford to risk and what your account size can handle. Right? That's why when I talk about wins, I don't say, look, guys, look how much I made today. Because one, that's federal as fuck. Anybody that just posts 80% of the content is what they're making, that's weird as fuck. They actually aren't making that, or they're dumb. Because again, if you're actually making high 5-6 figures monthly or daily, it makes zero sense to announce to the entire world what you're doing. Again, I don't know where y'all motherfuckers are from, but I'm from the South. You don't do that shit, right? But also, what I make, you're not going to make, right? But if we all catch 4,700 pips, guess what? It doesn't matter what your account size is. 4,700 pips is 4,700 pips, right? If we catch a 1 to 5 RR, it does not matter what your account size is. A 1 to 5 is a 1 to 5. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, so you gotta be careful with a lot of these people. Like I said, a lot of people been getting exposed. Motherfucker got his Christmas, his New Year ruined yesterday. If you know, you know. You gotta be careful out here, man. A lot of these motherfuckers trying to do y'all dirty, man. You gotta be careful out here. But yeah, the markets are kind of chilling right now. I'm just on longer because, again, like I say, like if y'all got questions, y'all participate in the chat. I got no issue going longer than an hour on the London session lives. But if I'm just here talking to myself, I'm just gonna end the live. Because like I said, when I'm actually trading, like before I started live streaming, I was never one of these folks that'd be on the computer for like 5 hours, 6 hours straight. At least not at my desk. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, the markets are kind of just chilling right now. So I'm gonna just put it back on GU. GU's kind of trying to tempt your boy, but I'm gonna leave it be. I'm gonna leave it be. Yeah, so we might just have to wait for 8 o'clock, which is completely fine. We might see something in the next hour or so, but as of right now, unless I get a nasty alert text on my phone, I'm most likely gonna wait for 8 a.m. to find a setup here, most likely. That's what it looks like the move is gonna be. We're just gonna have to wait till 8 a.m., 9:30. Again, y'all, we got FOMC today, so make sure to keep that in mind. And I'm not trading tomorrow. Yeah, y'all trade tomorrow. Watch the Sunday chart analysis. I wish y'all the best, but I am not trading after today until next week. Still got some videos posted up and lined up for y'all on TikTok and Instagram throughout the week, so don't worry. You're gonna still get your daily dose of Playmaker Way. I got a couple YouTube videos I'm gonna drop this week as well. But I think this weekend I'm gonna be working on getting a head start on the revamp. What the fuck just happened? Oh, I was like, where did my buy setup go? Let's see what else we got going on here. Do you think I should invest in a mentor? Did you have a trading mentor on your journey? You should definitely invest in a mentor because, again, I tell people all the time. Now, whether that's me or somebody else, hey, that's up to you. But I'm gonna tell you straight up, a lot of these motherfuckers don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and that's not me just trying to make myself look better. I just look better because I am better. That's just all it is, right? I also look better because I look better. But you definitely would, if you're actually trying to learn something quickly, you definitely should invest in a mentor. I tell people all the time, if I woke up last night from a dream and I was like, I want to learn how to play the piano. I want to be the greatest piano player in the world. You got two options to achieve that goal. A, you learn the hard way, which is teach yourself, make a bunch of mistakes, try to figure out what key means what keys means where, what fingers to put down at the same time. Tune your I almost said tune your computer, tune your your piano, learn the notes. If y'all never read music, that shit, it gets easy, but it's a whole nother language, right? So especially playing the piano and reading notes and that's a whole nother. That's, playing wind instruments is easy, but anyway, that's a whole nother conversation, right? So you got that, which is the hard way, take 2 years, 3 years, or you find somebody that knows how to play the piano. You have them teach you how to play the piano, learn from their mistakes, learn how to do things the right way, and then learn a lot quicker within that year, if not less than a year. That's the two options you got. Anything in life, you either learn the hard way or you have somebody teach you, right? But you should definitely invest in a mentor, because a mentor is going to save you time, it's going to save you money, it's going to save you stress. Now, to answer your next part of the question, did I have a mentor? I attempted to have mentors. I paid 3 or 4 different people. I bought like 3 different courses. I was in the IM Academy bullshit back in 2020. I think a little bit of 2019 too. I was in the IML shit for like 3-6 months. And after I left that shit, because obviously that shit's bullshit, but they did expose a lot of the platforms, because like I'm telling y'all, if y'all are brand new to trading, if y'all learned about trading 2 years ago, y'all don't understand how hard it was to actually get into day trading, right? Because I learned about day trading in 2018, 2017. But back in 2018, 2017, even on YouTube videos, they were gatekeeping everything. These motherfuckers wouldn't even tell you what TradingView was back in the day. Imagine 2019, no, not 2019, 2018, folks, you go on YouTube, you ask them what platform this is, and the creator won't even tell you what the fuck TradingView was. You see what I'm saying? So shit was heavily gatekept back then. That's also why I said prop firms weren't how prop firms were originally. Prop firms back in the day used to actually be legit proprietary firms. Now they're just money grabs, right? So again, a lot of stuff was not how it is this year. That's why I be going so hard on the new popular strategies and shit, because these motherfuckers are just rebranding shit or confusing motherfuckers. But I had like 3 different people I paid to try to learn, but they didn't want to teach me, right? They were either purposely withholding information, or they wanted you to rely on them the whole time. And I didn't want to rely on somebody the whole time. I actually wanted to learn the shit, because I actually wanted to do the shit, right? So after like paying for like 3 different courses and mentorships, and matter of fact, one of the motherfuckers that's full of shit still be going on TikTok live every fucking day, but I ain't about to even entertain that shit. But these motherfuckers are still around finessing people, but that's besides the point. So I did attempt to learn from somebody, and I learned a little bit, but again, a lot of these motherfuckers don't actually teach shit. So I had no choice but to teach myself. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm so passionate about what I'm passionate about, and that's why I be doing all the shit I be doing. Because think about it, I be doing a lot of shit for free that motherfuckers will pay you $3K in a course to teach you. Like my YouTube videos alone are motherfuckers $3K courses. I don't just go live every single day. I literally go from chart to chart. Y'all want me to look at a chart, I pull up a chart. Like the shit I do is different from everybody else, because I actually know what the fuck I'm talking about, right? That's also why I'm so passionate about the shit. So I attempted to have somebody teach me, but I paid like 3 or 5K in mentorships, and it was wasting money. So I was like, fuck it. The money I'm spending for this mentorship that they're not teaching me shit, I could be putting into my live accounts and funded accounts, which I was still blowing. So, you know, after, it was like literally it was like the beginning of 2022, end of 2021. And I remember I passed my first prop firm account. Long story short, I blew that shit. Then I crashed out on my live account, blew my live account. And then after that day, I was like, I'm not going to put no more money into the markets until I figure this shit out. And then literally that same week, it was like confirmation. It was like tax return season, like the W-4s was coming in. You know, when you do your taxes from work, they show you how much you made that year from your job. And again, I was working 2 jobs, 6 days out the week, 14, 16-hour days. So when I was doing my pay stubs and doing, you know, my taxes, I was like, wait. I made how much this year? Then I went to my bank account, and I was like, my bank account is not showing that same amount. And then I went to the, you know, the bank statements, and yeah, long story short, like half my income I was blowing on funded accounts and live accounts. I blew literally like 30, almost 40K. So let's say half my income, like maybe like 30% of my income, I was blowing the funded accounts and live accounts. So that was really what pushed me to, okay, I need to just learn how this shit works, right? And I gave up everything else I was doing. I stopped playing video games. I stopped watching anime. I still went out every now and then because, you know, people were like, man, well, you don't go out no more. And, you know, at first they were cool with it, but, you know, after like a couple months, they're like, bro, you don't go out no more. What's going on? I was like, bro, I'm trying to learn this trading shit. And so I went out, but I was a motherfucker that I got a cup in one hand and I'm looking at Bitcoin in my other hand, right? So I was still practicing and studying. So then once I discovered how this shit worked, that's when I realized how simple trading was. And then again, I quit one of my jobs, was making part-time income with trading. Then eventually quit both my jobs and making full-time income with trading. And then like a month or two later, I started seeing pop up my algorithms on TikTok and Instagram, day trading videos. And again, when you know something, you can tell when motherfuckers in your field don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So I used to be in comments, you know, saying do this instead, or that's not true, and actually this is true. And people was like, oh, you're just jealous, you're just hating, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make my own page. And that's how this became this, right? So I attempted to do the mentorship route, but again, a lot of people aren't trying to teach, unfortunately. So I had no choice but to teach myself. Took me longer, but guess what? Because I didn't give up, I'm here where I'm here now. But again, that's why I don't overcharge for my shit. I don't charge an arm and a leg, and why I give out so much free information, because I understand how hard it is to learn how to trade, especially nowadays. It's a lot harder even now to learn than when I was learning how to trade. That's also why, like, when I first started trading, I literally was, again, go to 2022, I was giving out free setups out the ass. I was calling free signals. I was literally doing charity work for like a year straight just to show people like this trading shit was possible, to not believe the whole, oh, 99% of traders fail statistic. I was debunking that every single day, right? I remember people was not believing me, talking about Google told me the average amount of points people catch on NAS is this, so there's no way you caught this. So that's why I started sending screenshots of me actually in positions. Cause I'm like, I don't know why people don't believe this shit. That's because, again, back in the day, scalping was the only thing people was doing, unless you was working for like hedge funds and the government and shit, right? So again, we've been doing this for a very, very, very long time. The reason why the follower count is low is because educational content people don't click, right? People don't click educational content. Even on your popular TikTok, or not popular trading channels, you go to their educational content, it's going to have way less views than their, oh, I just made this today, or oh, I just bought this car today. And y'all can't convince me that everybody and their mama wants an M5. You cannot tell me everybody's dream car is an M4, M5, but that's a whole nother conversation. But again, that's why I do what I do, because once I realized how simple this shit was, I realized everybody was overcomplicating it. I wanted to show people how simple this shit was and not to give up on trading, and that it's not a 99% failure rate, it's a 99% quitting rate, and to show people how simple it is. Again, that's why my bio says trading made simple. And you watch any of my videos from 2022, 2023, 2024. This year, we've been doing the same exact shit every single year. And that's why this year, when everybody else was struggling with the all-time highs, we was making money all month with the all-time highs, because we do what we've been doing, right? Because we actually learn how to read the charts, not a strategy or a pattern. You see what I mean? But yeah, so that's my little quick story time to answer your question. But yes, you should definitely, if you're actually trying to learn some shit, invest in a mentor, right? Right, because I get people every now and then, like I have some people that hit me up like, oh, you know, I'm just trying to learn this for fun, or, you know, I'm just curious about it. This is not something you want to get into if you're just curious. If you're just curious, watch videos, ask questions. But if you're actually serious about it, you need to do something. You know what I'm saying? Because again, this ain't no some casual get rich quick scheme. This ain't no money glitch. This is investing at the end of the day. This is a skill. Okay, you're not going to just trip and fall and become profitable. That's just not how the shit works. And like I say all the time, when it comes to trading, when you make mistakes, the mistakes will cost you. Literally, that's why people crash out and give up, because They don't know what they're doing, and they're just constantly losing money. That's why people be like, oh, trading is gambling. How the fuck is trading gambling? It's gambling because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You see what I'm saying? Let's see what else we got going on. Thanks for the game you dropping this morning. Hey, no problem. What about gold? Not trading gold. Now, why am I not looking at gold today? Because gold did a fat ass reversal. Okay, we go look at gold. Gold did a fat ass reversal. And I don't like to trade in reversal territory. So that's why I'm not looking at gold. Now, if you want to know my analysis for gold, check out the Sunday chart analysis. But as far as what I'm looking at today, I'm not trading gold today. I'm not going to give any sub for gold today because, again, it did a big ass reversal. And we do not trade reversals. We don't counter trend trade. We strictly and only trade buys and uptrend, sells and downtrend. All right. So as of yesterday or as of Friday, this is how Friday played out. Right. But then yesterday price did a big ass reversal. So we're not trading that. Unless price pushes way back up to like 44.80 or some shit, we're not trading gold. And that's also why our win rate's so high, because as you can see, I'm looking at multiple charts. That's why I say you need to learn how to read the charts first, because when you understand how to read the charts, you don't have to be like everybody else on the internet that trades strictly in Q. Because it doesn't matter if you have a favorite chart. I have a favorite chart. Gold's my favorite chart to trade. Gold is my favorite future indice to trade. GJ is my favorite Forex pair to trade. Right? I made my first $100 ever on gold. So gold's always gonna have a special place in my heart. But if I don't see an A+ setup, I'm not going to take an A+. I'm not going to take a setup just because I like gold. What you have to understand, if you just look at one chart, which in the beginning you should start off with one chart, right? But if you just look at one chart, there's bound to be a time on that chart where we're in a reversal, where we're consolidating, aka where we don't have a high probability setup. So when that happens, you have two options. You either take a shitty setup or you don't trade at all. But if you understand how the charts work, then you do what I do, which is what? I'm simply looking for a chart that has the cleanest setup, and then I go take that setup. That's how I'm able to go from US30 NAS100, NAS100 to gold, gold to US30, GJ to GU, GU to GJ, and still make the same amount every single trade because I understand how to trade, I understand how to read the charts. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not just trading just to trade. I'm literally looking for and only going for high probability, high quality setups. That's why our win rate's so high. Our win rate's not high because every one of our analysis plays out. Our win rate's so high because the trades we take play out. And why do they play out? Because we're always going for A+ setups, and we're always waiting for our confirmations, and we're always going with the flow of price. You see what I mean? But yeah, so I'm not trading gold today. Not trading gold today. Unless there's some crazy move at 8 o'clock, 9:30. Members, we all know if I change my mind on gold, because you know I dropped the New York price watch list. But until then, I'm strictly looking at US30 for buys, GU for buys, and NAS100 for buys. That is the game plan for today. Let's see what else we got going on. Like I said, I had like 4 different mentors, but the strategy I use is one I came up with my own. Like I said before, my spiel, if you missed it, rewind like 10 minutes. But the only thing my mentors taught me was uptrend, downtrend, and what broker they're using. They didn't teach me anything else. How I read the charts, I had to learn myself. My strategy, I had to learn myself. The way I mark up my charts, I taught myself. Right? So that's why you don't see anybody. If you start seeing people make their screens black, you start seeing people mark off their levels like this, you know they were a playmaker, whether they admit it or not, right? Because again, the average person on the internet does not use lines, they use boxes, and they trade patterns or supply and demand. They do not trade the way I trade, right? That's why my charts look so different and unique, and why our trades are hitting the way they hit, because I literally had to come up with all this shit on my own. Don't know what the fuck's going on here. But yeah, I literally had to come up with all this shit on my own. So, yeah, so there's that. So again, My mentors did not help me. Like I said, you should find a mentor, but not just somebody that's saying they're a mentor. You need to find somebody that actually knows what they're doing. That's why I live stream every day. That's why I can answer every question without saying what everybody else says. That's why I can look at any chart and explain what's happening. And that's why win rate is so high, right? Because I'm showing you I actually know what I'm doing on a long-term consistent basis. Again, we've been averaging high 80, high 90% win rates literally since 2022. We've been doing this shit since 2022, y'all. And everybody's experience is different. Like, right? Like, again, those that found me, y'all not gonna have to go through 5 mentors unless you went through 5 mentors before you found me, right? Or is why my experience was that way is because, again, a lot of people aren't actually trying to teach you shit. That's why they all say the same exact shit over and over again. And then when you scroll and stop and see my face, it's like a breath of fresh air. It's like, whoa, this dude is saying something completely different from everybody else. All right, y'all, I got a few things to do. Again, if we don't see any action at 8 o'clock, 9:30, between that and 11 o'clock, I recommend not trading for the rest of the day and the rest of the year, y'all. Just dropped a new video for y'all yesterday. Make sure to check that out after the live is over. Also, make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Now, the Xmas sale is over, but the holiday sale is still going on, if I'm not mistaken. All right, y'all, so make sure to use discount code. Xmas is over, right? That was just for the weekend. So use discount code holidays for 33% off Advanced Play Super 101 sessions. That's also including the yearly and lifetime. And then use discount code Playbook for 40% off Playmaker University. You watch the last 3.5 minutes of any of my YouTube videos. I go over all the details. I take you behind the scenes. But like always, you want to contact me directly. You can DM me on Instagram, Telegram, or TikTok. I respond to all messages. Shout out to everybody in the live, y'all. Shout out to everybody who's been live since the beginning. Shout out to everybody who's been live since y'all joined. We will be going live later on TikTok, so make sure to be on the lookout for that. But yeah, y'all, we're just gonna be waiting to see what New York's got in store for us. That's pretty much it.